Having my way.
Let's see that light, kid.
I'm having my way. Having my way with this shit. I'm having my way with this shit. Yeah. All of my kids is foreign. Next I'm scoring a bitch from Morocco. Niggas saying they the streets. I'm deep in this shit. I drop out the potholes. I'm just trying to keep the peace. Cause when it all start, I swear they stopping. Shooting them choppers like yeah, if you play, we pulling them right out the closet. I'm pulling them right out the closet. I said they hitting your brother on camera. I'm hitting your sister on camera. I go on that bitch and throw tantrums. All of you niggas so passive. I can tell all of you niggas I'm bastards. I went to sleep with a lot on my chest to say all of you niggas in caskets. I was going so much in the game, I can't believe all of this talk about practice. I'm knowing they knowing my name. The streets no soul, so bitch fuck rapping. And I'm back on the block again. Back though game, bitch, what happened? I'm Willie Nelson with this shit. I'm back on the road with bounds in traffic. Call the plug in NorCal. I told him I'm bad in the crib in Florida when the next harvest come down. Fucking with souls to get cut down. And broad daylight with the sun out. I get hit with his gun out. Smoking out the pounds till it run out. Sheesh. More paper coming, more trees that we burn. Love about saying you live and you learn. I waited patient, but now it's my turn. The more that I learned, the more that I earned. Them niggas was hated, them rich got burned. I got to the top cause I always been turned. My bitch a baddie, my cars are robotic. These niggas get mad cause they know that I got it. These girls just trying to see what's up in my wallet. No undercover brother, I'm a solid. I see my foot is 40 out, I'ma pop it. You get us started, just know you can't stop it. Daddy don't make me, but mama who raised me. Brother flag young help me recognize greatness. Close me the folks fucking friends and the fingers. Well, my head not be just like them Jamaicans. Diamonds on me, she can't find no replacement. Fucking on bitches who helping me sneaking. Money on the way back, got me on the road. Miss being broke, now I'm finally up the road. Started kind of funny, time to rock another show. Made it in the game, now nigga can't lose. I'm walking out the bank with a pocket full of blues. I'm feeling like soup, it's time my shoes.
Yeah. We back, baby.
We back in the building.
We is back, baby.
You just tuned in to another episode of the exclusive sit down.
No doubt.
Let's get it.
The exclusive sit down.
Today I'll be your host, Fovok. I'm here with my boy.
It's your boy Sosa. Tune in. It's your boy Popular Flood. Let's get it. Let's get it.
And today we have our special guest, Vincent E. Norment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Big Vince. Big Vince.
How you doing, Vince?
I'm doing great. Yeah.
Man, hey, I'm so happy to have you up in here with us, man.
Yeah, Joe.
Man, like, there's a lot of talent in this room, and I'm just glad to be here. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
thank
That's
you.
what's up.
So we brought you out here today. As you can see, we love us some marijuana. You feel me? This is the
All
best
day,
thing.
every day.
And you got to tell us about, the Marijuana Hall of Fame. Like, I have to know everything about it. Where did you get that idea, Marijuana Hall of Fame, from? Like, where did it come from?
It came to me as I was riding down the street, you know what I'm saying? And just kind of thinking about, the smoke and the industry itself. And I just started singing this little song, I'm with my marijuana gang. I'm with my marijuana gang. Put me in the Hall of Fame, Marijuana Hall of Fame. And I said, hold on, Marijuana Hall of Fame. I got it, man. I pulled over, jumped on Google to see if it exists, found out it did not, and then I pursued it from there. I'm like, man, here we are in 2018 and nobody's thought of the Marijuana Hall of Fame. And
Now, that's a perfect name.
That's how I came in.
That's a perfect name for something like that. Like,
Yes, sir.
I love marijuana personally. You feel me? So, how did marijuana change your life? Like, where did you feel me, really get your love for marijuana? Like, when did it start?
I'm just gonna say it like this. I became a smoker at 13. Now, I tell the audience out there, young folks don't start smoking cannabis at that age. But I was in an environment where, I had an opportunity transitioning from Chicago, moving down to Arkansas, and culture shock and all that, you know, from the city to the country. And I had to find an outlet, you know, and cannabis, marijuana became that, you know, became that for me, and I've been smoking ever since.
Yeah. So like at that time, what was like the biggest difference from Chicago and Arkansas?
The biggest difference from Chicago and Arkansas, I can tell you, and pretty much plain and simple, open space. Arkansas, it's nothing but open space, trees,
Hot.
fields, very hot.
My grandmother from Little
no skylines whatsoever, no big buildings at all. Where we was at there. That's the difference.
My grandma from the house.
So she is?
Yeah,
Okay.
from Little Rock.
Little Rock? Yeah, you know, I actually played in the All-Star game. War Memorial Stadium.
How you seen the cannabis industry and just marijuana in general just develop like over time since when you was younger to the times we are now?
You know, man, from like right now in this day and age.
It's like 2022 to back when you was our age.
Man, so you know, I'll tell you a story. You know, and I don't mind telling this story. You know, I was stationed I was in the Marine Corps. We was on our way going to Okinawa, Japan, and so we had to stop at Camp Pendleton, California, and you know, I mean, you can imagine a young man about to go overseas. You know, the anxiety there. So you know, again, I went to my, you know what I'm saying?
Handy dandy.
My handy dandy, you could say. Or my play, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, smoking, you know, behind the barracks and you know, of course, you know, you had to be very careful, you know, the stigma behind it. So it was always sneaking to do it. Now, whereas this day and age that we are on the podcast smoking, you know, it's legal in several states,
Yes.
recreational wise and medical. So the time has changed, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot different, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate the journey, but now we need to do more. Still, we need a lot more to get done. You know?
Right, for sure. So like, how do you feel like, bro, like, okay, so cigarettes legal, alcohol legal, but they try to put the bad name on weed. And weed does more positive than negative. You know what I mean? So how do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel that they look at the good thing as bad and the bad things as good?
Good question.
You know, I mean, when you say they look at the good things as the good things as good.
Yeah, good things is bad, like good things is weed. Like they look at that as something bad, but they look at alcohol and cigarettes as a good thing. Them legalized, you can go get them, but they just now starting to accept weed. But for this whole time, they were cooking.
You know, I just tell you like this. It's personal to me. When I think about alcohol and cigarettes, tobacco, and the personal side of it is my brother, his brother that died from, you know what I'm saying, liver damage. You know, drinking alcohol, you know, it's pretty much killed his liver. And he passed away from that. Then I had another friend that developed lung cancer from smoking cigarettes. He was a young man. He died at age 32.
Damn.
And so, you know, it's personal to me when I see all these things happening with alcohol and tobacco. But, you know, on record, there's how many deaths from cannabis, marijuana?
Exactly.
Zero.
Exactly.
Zero. So, you know, the gig is up. You know, we've been bamboozled enough. When I say we, a lot of people that bought into the fact that, you know, marijuana is, you know, this dangerous drug.
Exactly.
It's not even a drug.
Yeah, it's not. It's earth.
It's from the earth. It's herbs. It's part of a. It's part of
It's
a plant.
earth.
That definitely was a part of a bigger plan.
You see, I always thought about my granddad and them age and how they young. I mean, how they when they was young.
You know, there might be definitely some truth to that.
That's why
I
they
mean,
illegalized motherfucking marijuana.
But then, you know, but also, you know, this was a way to, you know, again, criminalize
With the war on
black and
drugs.
brown people.
With Nixon.
You know, and so, you know, I even hate that word, the war on drugs. I say the war on black and brown people.
For
You
sure.
know what I'm saying? Colored people.
Because
African American. That's what the war is about. You know, so that whole notion of the drugs,
It's not that.
that's bullshit.
For sure.
So, yeah, it's a lot of variations of why they made it illegal. There's a lot of variations of why, you know, they criminalized the plant. You know, it goes deeper than that. You know, it's like to the industry. You know, this plant is amazing. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, for sure.
there's a lot of health benefits. There's also a lot of industrial benefits as well.
Speaking of like industrial benefits, I know you have worked with a company, a hemp company that create utensils out of hemp. How do you feel how do you feel about that company? How do you feel about their impact on the environment? What y'all trying to do with that?
So, definitely we know that in the state of Illinois, they outlaw straws, plastic silverware, and stuff like that because it's destroyed the plant. You know, it takes decades for that plastic to dissolve, and they're throwing it in the ocean. It's killing sea life, it's killing earth, and all that. So, when you talk about hemp utensils or hemp ware, it's a totally different thing. Why? Because it's already from the ground.
Right.
It's a plant.
It's biodegradable.
So it's biodegradable.
Right.
So it's easy to dissolve.
Right.
And so that only takes months, versus years with plastic, decades with plastic.
Yeah.
So hemp utensils is
Earth
a
healing.
great product, and it's changing the game. It's
Sure.
definitely changing the game.
Sure.
I look at you like a hero after saying something like that. Because not a lot of people trying to save the world, the planet, and something like that to have something that we not use and dissolve into earth where it came. That's like from dust to dust. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So it's like you basically being God of the marijuana field, of that marijuana industry. It's like you thinking about more than just, a person. You thinking about the earth. It's how I look at how you look at things.
So-
It's hemp. It's
so-
the earth.
So with that, I'm glad you mentioned it. I met this young brother. His name is Jordan Henshaw, and he's from California, Long Beach, Snoop area. Shout out to Long Beach.
Shout out.
And we met him. We met up in Vegas, and he had this idea. This is 2019, that he wanted to take hemp and convert it into straws and silverware, utensils, and so forth.
Yeah.
And just seeing how that idea in 2019, around December 2019, and then right now to date, here we are 2022, and we got businesses want to buy into the company, businesses want to acquire the company. That's quite a big turnaround. But he's the founder. He had the idea. I came along and just helped him, mentored him, and just made sure that we could make things happen. And so when we decided to come up with a name, I said, well, utensils, and let's just call it hemp utensils.
Exactly.
Simple. And he was like, man, let's go with it. And so here we are.
That's genius.
Yeah,
That's genius. I do stuff like that too. Break them down and put them together and make it one.
right.
Well, what other companies, licensed companies you dealing with that's in Illinois?
Right now, licensed companies, Franklin, Ambrose, and Eric, and a couple other guys formed a company, applied for a license in Illinois, received a dispensary license, a craft grow license, which is cultivation, and also a transportation license. So, that happened, but just now, actually, I think it was a couple of days ago, they just now issued out the dispensary license. In the state of Illinois, we've been recreational since 2020,
Yeah.
January 2020. So here we are, 2.5 years later. They're now saying, "Hey, black and brown people, y'all can open up a dispensary." So, as always, they've gotten a head start, like a 2.5 year head start, getting on the recreational side. So, I really just look at the fact that, hey, y'all not playing fair.
Right.
And then how we can change that whole, collectively by inclusion and diversity and all those things. So, I've been working with other companies, that have licenses, and from a consultant basis or just, bringing in knowledge. So, yeah.
So like, switch gears just a little bit. Being a well-traveled man yourself, you know what I mean? Being in the Marine Corps, what would you say you picked up some of the bombing strains of weed in the world after you travel?
That's a good question.
That's man, I gotta tell you, and I know everybody says this to say, but California. So,
Cali?
Cali, man. Like, nah.
That's my second home,
Michigan.
baby.
And Michigan got some fire too. But I just remember going there, stationed there at San Diego. I went to boot camp there, went to Coronado, California for school. So, it's fire weed in California.
Yeah.
But you look at California, it's a very large state. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot of agriculture.
Yeah.
So they got plenty of space to grow. So they can get it right. You know what I'm saying? And they've gotten it right. So I would say California, then I would say Michigan. But don't count out the Netherlands. There's other places, other countries that grow some fire. So Jamaica.
Have you been to Afghanistan? Not Afghanistan, Amsterdam?
No,
Netherlands.
I actually went to the coffee shop.
I see the light.
Let me see. It was, I want to say 91, 92, around that time. I was out there for like a week and a half. And my experience, was like, you're in a coffee shop. You look up and it's like, hold on. They're bringing you weed along with your coffee. You know what I'm saying? It's on the menu.
Wow.
And it's like, it's crazy. Like, man. So,
That's fun.
yeah.
That's what I call fun right there.
Japan, they got some fire. Even though, they grow, man.
I thought
Asians, they
I thought they didn't fuck with weed.
they got weed.
Sit out there in
Now, it's
Japan.
not legal, like a lot of things, what I'm saying, but shit. You got all them Americans overseas. You don't think they're gonna have weed to
Indoors
make sure
and shit like
they have
that.
it for you?
They definitely
grow
do.
indoors anyway.
Yeah. So even Seoul, Korea, which is, was shocking to me. And I was thinking like, did they bring this shit over here from the army or what?
Right. Like, what the fuck?
But that's what they do.
I got a question. Excuse me. With you being black and you being like for the people, how important do you feel like for black people to get involved with like the marijuana industry? Like how important do you feel like, cause you're an embodiment of it, but you being already on the inside, how do you feel like, how much importance is it for black people to get involved?
That was like one of the questions that came up to me when I first found, started the Marijuana Hall of Fame. That was 2018. And we can look back at 2018, as a whole. Now, I'm not talking about California, Colorado, because they was already doing to get it in.
Mm-hmm.
But as a whole in the U.S., especially here in Illinois, it was like nobody was thinking on this level that it's at now. So, I was looking at it like, man, we got to get ahead of the game. We got to really get involved because the industry is growing. And now fast forward, look at where we at now. 2022, billions and billions of dollars. And
it's projected to keep growing.
And we're still in a very, very, very small, tiny percentage of that. Somewhere around 1-2%. When you look at it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we're at 70% of, the people that's being incarcerated. So, I mean, just think about that. We're 2% into the industry of marijuana. But 70% in the industry of being incarcerated for marijuana. You know what I'm saying? Those are staggering numbers, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. So obviously they're targeting black and brown people. That's just a no-brainer. And you got, companies like the Last Prison Project who's working on getting incarcerated, people that's with cannabis, marijuana convictions out of jail. Really, that's what the president signed, was supposed to be running on, is that once he got elected, he was going to release all the prisoners with a marijuana conviction, nonviolent. That still hasn't happened.
What?
So again, we're being bamboozled. You gotta speak up.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I feel like you are speaking up. To have this platform and to get that knowledge, this is speaking up. You know what I'm saying? So thank you, because I want to be a voice to help speak up for this now. I love weed. Weed changed my life. Weed is probably, Dr. Sebi said weed is God. So if this is Dr. Sebi, and he was a very intelligent, smart man. You feel me?
they said Dr. Sebi was getting
I feel like the burning bush want nothing but some weed.
Hey, that could be true.
This bush
I
is
mean,
burning,
and this speaks about it in the Bible as well. It talks about the herbs that are being grown, and you know how God is, bringing all forth all these plants. So, when you read that, you think cannabis, you think marijuana was left out of that? No, I don't think so. So, I really, we got a program right now. I was telling a guy the other day that we are going to start targeting our clergymen. Our clergymen is our pastors, our reverends, our chaplains, our priests, whatever you want to call them, to really speak up and really, talk about the truth of cannabis and marijuana. Stop hiding behind talking about God said.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you, 60% of the people that's in service, they're praising. And then after service is over with, they get in their car.
Facts.
Woo-wee. Lord have mercy, that's service. The pastor said, but this weed said better.
Right out the church, though.
Right after church. Right after church.
Hey,
Coming out the lot.
I used to feel different when I came into the church smelling like weed. I used to feel different. I ain't never do that, but when I got old and came into church smelling like weed, I'm like, this is God's house.
You acting crazy.
Right.
Nah, for real. I just had to ask you this, because we smokers, and you the creator of the Marijuana Hall of Famer. It's like it's a league or something. Like, who gets into the Marijuana Hall of Fame, and like, what are the criteria to get into the, you dig?
Ooh, that's
Man, people who set the standards in the industry, people, the judgment of people that's walking in cannabis, advocating for the plant, championing the plant, getting out there, pioneering for the plant, speaking up for, a voice that is not being heard because pharmaceutical companies are drowning them out, textile companies are drowning them out, oil companies are drowning them out, construction companies are drowning them out. And I say that, and people probably saying, why are you saying all that? Because that's how powerful hemp, marijuana is. Hemp, they build houses out of hemp. They got fossil fuel out of hemp. They built a car, 1941. Google it.
car?
Henry Ford, 1941, built a car out of hemp.
A car?
Google that.
A whole car, like the outside.
The whole car. Now let me say this. Hemp is 10 times stronger than steel.
Huh?